Hey guys, just doing some work up on the road. I had some gravel dumped this morning, so uh, I've been marking a couple of more trees and just making sure our road is 10 feet. But just came back to the barn for something, and just thought this would be a good way to show you just how that road is going to work. There's our main road, the county road that we live on. And then there's our driveway, comes up a little and around right in front of the barn here, which leads to where the car and the RV are parked. Normally the RV will be a little closer to the barn, but we've had some issues with our jack system, and until I get that worked, this is a flat place, and I like where the RV sits right here, but normally it wouldn't block this driveway. Um, as you can see, the grass is encroaching, makes it skinny right there. Normally we just have a nice straight driveway right through there. So, and then you just keep walking down here past the fire pit. Continue walking straight down the driveway. Now we're coming up to where I had the gravel dumped. Just like I explained earlier, I didn't want him to go any further. He didn't think he should go any further either, because our driveway goes over a culvert right here, because there's a storm drain slash creek. The only time it fills is during a thunderstorm or a rainy day, and it runs into these trees and stuff and then down out our land. But it gets kind of skinny here, and he didn't want to slip on this mud. It's pretty muddy still from all the rain that we've been getting over the past 6 weeks or so. So that'll keep going down here. So you can already tell it's going to be, once you get on the property, it's still another minute or two, even in a car before you're going to get up to the house when we get the house built. So now you're going to make the left and head up into the woods here. And that's what I've been working on today, is just making sure all these pink flags are still set where they're supposed to be. We've had a lot of stuff with that trench being built, putting the electric in, that a couple of them got knocked out of the way. And then I want to take out a couple of these little scrubby trees and stuff and make sure it's a little bit clearer looking. Probably that tree right there, that little skinny one will go. And then I'm gonna have him kind of smooth this out more. That's the trench going along and straight up into back into the woods. But right here, it's gonna clips the driveway a little, so we want to make sure that's good and sound and packed. And then I laid a couple of flags there, just to show where I want the stone to be laid. And then we'll start going up that way and then off to the left, turn again. Okay, I'm up towards the top of the driveway looking back down, and I got everything laid back out again. That gravel, the initial gravel that we put in, is about halfway up. It's maybe goes to about, it's way down there, but about halfway up. And so the next step is cleaning out a couple more trees, making sure the width is correct, and then bringing the rest of that stone that was dumped today up here. So, and then what else I laid out is the house site is up past that red stake up there in the middle of the picture. So we'll have some kind of walking path or steps or something down to here, but the driveway will end right about where the transformer's going to go, where you see the conduit coming out over to this, which is our parking spaces. There's going to be 2 parking spaces, so I made it about 14 feet this way wide, or no, I'm sorry, 14 feet deep and 23 feet wide. So more than enough for 2 cars to fit in there straight. So, and you can see I painted a couple yellow or orange lines just to make sure, staked it, then put some ribbons on some trees that I got to remove to remind me to get rid of those before Glenn gets back up here with his equipment and fills in this site. So that's where we're at right there. I got that done. So probably it's supposed to be a couple of days of rain this week, so I'll get back up here sometime this week in between work and clean out some more trees and brush and so Glenn can get up here. Then I gotta get moving with this electrical because I'm gonna put a 100 amp panel and meter head up on that post. I also got to anchor that post with 2 2x4s, pressure treated, coming down, staked into the ground, so that they can pull wire and cable and not have it bend out of place. It does move a little, even though I threw a bag of concrete in there. It still moves a little. And then where our transformer is, he wants me to move this pipe up closer to this pipe here. So I got to do a couple of little maneuvers, dig down and put a 45 on there and bring it over a little bit more. So do that. And then I can get back to my fencing, which, as you saw in that last video, is way over at the other side of our property over this way. Finish putting that in and stuff. Then I can get back to the barn and do that. So it's going to be busy, but I got the time. Still have probably 3 months here before I have to take off for Wyoming. All right, so now I'm at the very back of our property, and you probably can't tell, but I'm just going along the line. Started at Bill's fence where our corner is, and we had a tree marked right, you can see it through there. That's actually a marking from, and that red stake is from the surveyor. So I just kind of walked a straight line and just hanging ribbons on trees here so that when I come back with my fence posts, and this is the back of the property where I'm going to do every 20 feet and just do wire, I can kind of get an idea that I'm going in a straight line. So that's what I'm doing right now. It's actually about 50 degrees and kind of partly sunny. Not a bad day for it. Hey, with the weather being so bad, this month of January being so wet, it has given me time to start implementing plans on the house and jotting some ideas down, some shapes, how the house is going to be, the rooms are going to go. So I included a picture of that just to give you a quick idea, and this is like a first draft, so it may change over time, but I did send it to Shannon and she seems to initially like it too, and so it looks pretty promising that it's going to be somewhat close to what the drawing that I show you, and so you get an idea of what that house is going to look like up there. All right, so this is an initial drawing of our house. As you can see, 24 by 32. So roughly just under 800 square feet. So Wyoming's going to be 800 square feet plus a loft. This will be a little under 800 square feet, plus we want to do a loft somehow. So I haven't totally planned that, but I think it's going to be along the front. This is going to be, so this is when I'm coming up the road always and I'm looking up at the house. That's what you're seeing, is this side of the house. So this will look off into this ravine, and I'm going to cantilever a front porch along here that'll come out. It'll be screened in like kind of like a lanai that you'd have in Florida, because things. So we definitely want it all screened in, but it'll look off, have a nice view of a ravine out here, but give us a lot of privacy once the leaves are back on the trees. And in the winter, it's not bad. It gives you a little bit more sight of the mountains and stuff, but that's what we're initially looking at, is kind of like a back door, because this will be the front. So I'm thinking steps here up onto the front porch, and then you'd go into the door right there, the front door, and that would let you in the living room slash kitchen. So it'd be an open room here. This is like a back door that'll let you in a pantry slash mudroom slash laundry. So right in here, bedroom here, bathroom here. I got a little bit of a bump out for a shower. It's so wooded up here, you're not even going to notice that though. And then I'm going to continue that bump out over this way for like a back porch, and that'll have firewood, because we'll have a fireplace right in the corner here. So we'll have a little door there too, so in the living area. But it'll look nice, I think. So Shannon liked it too. So morning, everyone. It is Friday the 20th, I think, of January. So had to work the last 4 days. It was a little rainy, so I haven't done much since I was up in the woods the other day. So today I've chosen, it's going to be tree trimming day. So this tree is in the middle of our hayfield, and as you can see, there's a big branch laying right there that fell, and that's been like that for years. But I'm going to clean that up, and when the guy hays our field this year, he'll get right around that tree and make it look nice, because in the summer it's got a bunch of scrub brush at the bottom, at the base and stuff. So I'm going to cut all that, and so he can get it right around that tree, and it'll look a lot better. But I'm out just to give you an idea of where I'm at on the property. Is back where the trench was, where we put the electric line conduit in the fall a couple months ago, and then that's going up into the woods, our road that we're working on. But I walked with the guy who has the heavy equipment the other day, and we still deemed that it's much too wet to do anything with that road still. So we're gonna let it dry out. It is the middle of January, and like I said, January seems to be the toughest winter month here, late December and into January. And then February it starts getting nice out. Everything dries out a little bit better, and the sun is up longer at a different angle. So we're gonna get back to it here soon. But I got my gravel. It's just sitting there, it's not going anywhere. So today I'm going to do that, and then trim that tree. And then also there is, right behind me, part of the fence broke down. They hit it with one of their hay vehicles, and that's the guy on the other side of the fence, not the guy who does mine, but you can clearly tell it was from his side. So I got to replace a T-post and a section of fencing that I'll weave in there. So I might try to do some of that today, but I'm also going to go up into the woods along our road. There's a couple trees that I got to still take down and clear a little bit of brush and stuff. So we'll see where I get. So that's what I'm doing today. All right, it's been about 45 minutes, and I cleaned up a bunch of brush And I think I have my old chainsaw blade on, because it is not going through that big branch that I gotta take down at all, and that should go through like butter. That's pretty dried out and rotted, but it's just not, it's really making it work for it. So I think what I did is put a dull chain on when I was cutting some branches that were close to the ground, because I knew it would get into the dirt, and nothing dulls a chainsaw blade more than hitting dirt. So it'll dull it in 2 seconds. So what I'm gonna do is go back and put I got 2 other chains, and I think one of them's pretty sharp. So and then I got my pole saw up there, and I'm getting a couple of other dead branches that I see that eventually will come down. I'm gonna take those 2 that are sticking out that are broken right there. So I'm working on that. I took another one down up there, and so we're cleaning it up. Got all the debris out of here, so it is just hay. He can run over it and collect hay this year around this tree. So my goal is to have all this brush cut down here too, so he can just go right around this tree, and it'll look a lot nicer in the field here. So instead of just all bunched up like that. So that's what I'm doing, just to getting a good decent workout. It's a nice day. It's about 45, and got the sweatshirt off already, so we're working it. All right, I did have the old blade on right here, and I remember the last time I used it was up in the trench cutting all those roots. So of course it's all ground down and stuff, so I got to get that sharpened. So I'm just throwing my other blade on that's hardly been used, so that should go through it pretty quick. So, and then I got my 2 employees here, so they're following through to make sure I do this right. Right, boys? Lefty? What are you guys doing? Huh? Right, the tree's all cleaned up. Took me about an hour because the chain that I put on my chainsaw, I didn't tighten it down enough, and it jumped off the track. Had to do a little finagling to get it back on. A couple of burrs and file them down, and but I got it back on. So back in business, and got all that brush cut. So got a lot of stuff to burn though. So I'll drag that up to the fire pit and let that dry out a little, and then we'll burn that up. So looks so much better though. And then as the hay grows this year, he'll hopefully cut closer around it. I'll have him cut closer around that. And then I'm gonna fix that fence today if I have time. Right there, that bent post has to come out. And I gotta cut the wire fencing, and actually what I might do is just try to put a post in and put it back together on there. So see how maybe I won't have to put in a new piece of fencing over there. Darn, I missed it. 3 deer just ran right across the pasture here. Another dank, dreary January day. Yuck. But you can see that tree down there that I trimmed up the other day. Well, I brought all the brush at least up to the fire pit today, so I did get something accomplished. It was a good workout because I had to go uphill with that stuff. So, but everything else kind of had to be put on hold again, including going up the road or doing any fencing. It was just too muddy. Pancho's taking a look. Okay guys, I'm gonna wrap up the video. Didn't get as much done as I thought. Rain started moving in as I trimmed that tree up. like you see, I was able to get that brush up to the fire pit. I'll let that dry out for a couple of weeks and then start cutting that up and feeding that into a fire and burn that up. But we'll get back to the fencing, I promise. Finish up our fencing around our border, do that patchwork fencing, and then get, hopefully in the next couple of weeks it'll start drying out here, and we'll get back to that road and I can finish the electric, and then we'll get to the barn projects and stuff. We'll show you how that's done, trimming out that barn. But those are some of the projects that we'll have in the near future. So hit the subscribe button and the thumbs up, and we hope to see you soon. All right, take it easy.